Faces of Gods. Howdy, folks. This is Ben Thompson here, and today we're doing a freehand portrait drawn with strictly a blue ballpoint pen. And you're going to watch me do this like a G. And this is actually my second freehand portrait done with just a ballpoint pen. This one here is my first. Typically, I start out doing a fine sketch with a pencil, usually a 3H pencil, very light, but just to get all the proportions down, so I can erase if need be. I usually look at my phone or my iPad at whatever photo I'm trying to reproduce. And it's very time consuming to do it that way. There are definitely tricks to laying out a pencil sketch for a portrait. You can trace a photo on Procreate with iPad and print it out and trace the contours onto a piece of paper, then go over it with a ballpoint pen. It's kind of the way you do it when you tattoo. You know, you trace the photo and you fill it all in on the skin with the stencil template. But I don't know, for me, I never liked to trace when I was doing a drawing. For skin, I can see why it would be important. I mean, it's a person's skin you're modifying forever. You don't want to, just go freehand with a portrait. That's just crazy. But for paper, no one's going to be affected. If it doesn't come out good, I can throw it away and start again. So I've always liked to just at least draw out the sketch in pencil first so I can erase anything, get the proportions right, like I said, and then go over it with pen. But I've been doing all these little doodles of like little skulls and little faces and corpses and scary, creepy little things. And I always just do it freehand with a pen, make it messy and scribbly. There's no reason to stay within the lines and get crazy tight. So I've been doing that kind of thing a lot, and it's very freeing and relaxing. You don't have to worry about how it's going to turn out at the end. And then the thought occurred to me, I'm like, why don't I try that with portraits just to see? I mean, who cares if it doesn't come out good? You start again, but just no tracing, no pencil sketch to start out, get the proportions right. Just do it once with a ballpoint pen, no erasing, start to finish, like a G. So I did that other one that I showed you a second ago, and I was very surprised at the outcome. I kept it very loose. I kept it very relaxed, and came out actually better than I thought it would. Better than I think it would have been if I carefully did everything out in pencil first. I think there's something to be said about approaching it with I don't give a fuck attitude. You know what I'm saying? There's a quality to the drawing that's different. And I don't know, doing that sketch ahead of time, it's just, you're caring a little too much, I mean, you're trying to, I don't know, get it perfect. I'm not trying to get these things perfect anymore. I've done that. I know how to do it. It's just, getting it perfect is just kind of boring. It's kind of stiff. You're just trying to prove that you can get it perfect. It's like, I don't know. I like it better where it's like almost more of a caricature, like you've captured just enough of the spirit where you've got that person. Like a person can look at that portrait and say, "Yep, I know who that is." You've captured just enough of that spirit, but you've gotten a little bit looser with the flesh, the body. You've got the spirit there. That's really what matters. You captured that spirit, but you let that body, that flame, kind of flicker a little bit, waver in and out a little bit. That's what I like. Because otherwise, it's like if it's perfect, just look at the photo. It's perfect in the photo. It's more perfect in the photo. The camera did a better job than you at getting it perfect. So do what the camera cannot do. I don't know. That's what's fun to me. Don't listen to me. Do whatever you want. If you want to make it perfect, make it perfect. Do your own thing. Everyone's got their own reason for like what they're doing, why they're drawing, why they're creating art. This is just my reasons and the way I go about things. That's all. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Turn it off. Go watch, I don't know, whatever's on these days. What's on these days? I don't know. The news? What do people watch? I don't even know. I don't really watch TV. Sometimes I watch Netflix. Let's see, what have I watched that's good on Netflix lately? That movie, The Ritual, that was pretty scary. Great ending too. I'm watching some new Viking show, The New Kingdom or The Last Kingdom or something. Seems kind of cool. Can't really tell yet. Anyways, so back to this drawing here. We got Ricky here taking it on the forehead, taking some lines on the forehead, and I am basically getting those little tiny lines, those little tiny crease lines. They're almost unnoticeable, like laugh lines or something. I like adding those in the forehead if they're there in the photo, just a little bit. Here you see I'm doing a course of lines, almost like what you do when you start a crosshatch drawing, except I'm not going to crosshatch here. I'm just going to keep going the same direction with these lines and build up the contrast in certain areas. Right now I'm looking at a photo on my iPad that's in front of me. Can't see it, and I forgot to add it to the movie. I may add it later after I edit everything else. Yeah, I might as well. I'll probably forget though. Anyways, so I'm looking at a picture on the iPad as I'm doing another course of lines on his forehead to sort of get that consistency of shadow and subtle tones. I'm going back and forth. Right now, I'm really looking closely as I'm drawing at the spaces in between the lines. And if any are a little wider than the others, I try to fill it in with a little line. So it's all spaced so well that it almost just looks like a consistent piece of shading. Like, that's not the way to say it. Like a consistent color, a tone, rather than being made up of like little separate lines. I'm getting in all those little details underneath his eye. I try to look at everything equally. I try to give as much of attention to the corner of an eye as, let's say, like the edge of someone's hair, or a spot that you might think is boring. Like, most artists love the eyes of a person more than anything, and we always want to do the eyes. It's like the funnest part of a portrait. You just want to do eyes. That's all you want to do. I used to think that hair was boring and that noses were boring and stuff, but then I just realized I didn't give those things quite as much attention as I did the eyes. And I realized and learned you got to give everything the same amount of attention, because it's all equally as beautiful. It's all equally as magical and mystical. Really, just the act of drawing a person, really, for me, the act of drawing anything is like to show my reverence of that particular thing. And to me, I could draw anything. Anything I look at is just a miracle that it exists. So I want to draw it to show my reverence for it and for all things that exist. And that's why I draw scary stuff and creepy stuff too, as well as, traditionally beautiful things. I say traditionally beautiful, that's in regards to, like, what's considered traditional art, beauty, But I like to draw lots of different things. Here's the finished product. Ricky LaCapria.